Hungry hatchlings above use the sands of Jones Beach, a summer haunt of swarms of city dwellers, as a nesting site. See? That's mouth open and they're feeding that little birdie. A downy herring goldchick below seeks its mother's cool shadow. Like the adults, young gulls learn to scavenge food scraps left by bathers. Back from the hunt, a laughing gull flaps up and down to its brood in a South Shore marsh. On the crisp September day that heralds the beginning of the fall migration, snow geese take off from Jamaica Bay for their wintering rounds along the Chesapeake Bay and the North Carolina coast. Of all species that use New York as a stopover in their journey from the far north, snow geese usually stay the shortest time, a mere 24 hours unless delayed by a storm. See? They're all migrating. This deep vertical fissure in the basalt escarpments of the Hudson Palisades was created underground almost 200 million years ago, when the molten rock underlying the area cooled and shrank, eventually exposed by erosion and glacial scoring. The narrow crevice runs 500 feet from top to bottom. See? A showy yellow spring flower adorns the eastern prickly pear cactus, the only cactus found in the northeast. This species, also called the Indian fig, produces a pulpy but edible fruit after its flowers die in early autumn. See? See all the white flowers growing out of the prickly pear cactus? A frozen waterfall preserves the pattern of a stream's descent over a rocky abutment on New Jersey's Palisades. When spring thaws the ice, the stream's waters will move on to mingle with those of the Hudson River. The river froze. A broad-winged hawk soars easily and majestically above the Hudson Highlands for a few miles northwest of New York City. Unlike their larger cousins, the falcons, which are stronger flyers, broadwings must rely on thermals along mountains like those west of the city to assist them in their long twice-yearly migrations. See? The Minas River above the gorge. A red trillium. Skunk cabbage and fiddleheads in a fern glen. Cinnamon fern fiddlehead. Marsh marigolds. White trilliums. Violets and moss at stream side. Leaves of ground pine. A glacier-carried boulder. Fronds of lady fern. The Hemlock Cathedral. There's no church there. Meet mica on the forest floor. Outcrops of gneiss in the gorge. Moss-covered rose quartz. A dilapidated stone wall. Flowering dogwood in the upland forest. A budding blueberry branch. Rue anemone. Spring beauties. Showy orchis. An eastern painted turtle. A mat of moss. The lower pool at Havmeyer Falls. A rare mollustic squirrel, a member of the gray species born with black hair due to an inbreeding of recessive gene, scurries along a wooden erosion fence of Manhattan's Inwood Hill. Its distinctive color would make it easy prey under completely wild conditions, but the security of Inwood and a few other parks where the black squirrel occurs has aided its survival. Squirrel. There's the fence. Of all the creatures that have adjusted to urban life, these 6 birds along the Heron Gull are among the most successful. Snuck down in the miry niches of New York, house sparrows, pigeons, and starlings have proliferated into the millions. Less numerous, but just as secure as the Chinese ring-necked pheasant, found along Parkway margins, the mute swan, which floats serenely on ponds, and the cattle egret, an immigrant to Jamaica Bay from Florida pastures. Chinese ring-necked pheasant. Cattle egret. House sparrow. Pigeon. Starling. Mute swan. Two red fox pups venture warily from their underground den. Though still hunted for sport, they're furry as vermin, members of the